Pinball. To some, it's a game that raised a generation of kids killing time with quarters down at the local pizza shop. To others, it's a game that raised a generation of kids who had Windows XP but no internet connection. Whichever way you slice it, pinball isn't exactly what you'd call controversial. But for decades, it was seen as the viciest of vices. The siren's call of lights and bumpers invited impressionable youths to throw away their earnings. And here in Indiana, the city of Kokomo had the game banned entirely until 2016. Well, sort of. A ban on pinball officially became part of city code in Kokomo in the year 1975. But according to the Kokomo Tribune, the ban goes back even further to 1955. But in order to get just why city leaders were going full tilt against the game, we need to go back even further. According to Slate's The War on Pinball, the first machine was patented in 1871 and descended from a game called Bagatelle. But unlike pinball today, you didn't really play it. Flippers weren't introduced into pinball machines until 1947, so you'd launch the ball with a plunger and just kind of see where it landed. But people were quick to bet on the results, and so the machine got a nasty reputation as a way to gamble. It wouldn't take long for the game to get a high-profile opponent: New York City mayor and namesake to a mediocre airport, Fiorello H. LaGuardia. According to Slate, LaGuardia passed a citywide ban on pinball as an effort to erase crime from the city. And he got a groundswell of support after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, because he argued that wood, metal, wire, glass, the stuff that you need to make a pinball machine, was better needed for the war effort. The ban even gave us this shot of LaGuardia smashing a pinball machine with a sledgehammer. Back in Indiana, the ban hammer came down in Kokomo just a little over a decade later. The Tribune reported that the punishment for operating a pinball machine was a fine of up to $300 and 6 months in jail. A license was required just to own one, and it's estimated that there were 103 licensed machines in Kokomo at the time. According to the Tribune, a man named Robert Musselman filed a restraining order against Kokomo in 1956, arguing that the ordinance banning pinball was unconstitutional. He lost, and as it turns out, he owned between 35 and 40 of the machines used across the city. And at one point, a pool room operator was arrested after he paid off 2 plainclothes state troopers for a hit on one of the machines. Anti-pinball sentiment was big in the 40s and 50s, but as time went on, people found other stuff to be angry about. For many cities, bans loosened or were lifted entirely. Like in New York, when in 1976, pinball historian Roger Sharp played a game right in front of City Council. He called his shot and he made it, showing them that there was legitimate skill involved. The city lifted the ban. And for other cities like Kokomo, people just stopped caring about the bans. Police enforced the restrictions less and less until they stopped enforcing them at all. It would take 61 years since the implementation of Kokomo's pinball ban for it to pop back up in the public consciousness. As an effort to get rid of outdated codes and obscure regulations, former Kokomo Common Council member Steve Weichart sponsored an ordinance to repeal the ban.
We had a whole laundry list of ordinances that were really outdated and archaic. You couldn't throw stones into the river. That could be punishable by a fine. One of them, actually defined what kind of explosives you could use in the city limits. And we thought we probably don't want to encourage that, so we went ahead and repealed those. Once I presented it to the rest of the council members, of course, it was unanimous. We all had a good laugh about it.
And in December of 2016, former Mayor Greg Goodnight signed the document repealing the ban right on top of a pinball machine.
This really should be something done every 5 to 10 years. There are all kinds of laws, even at the state level, even national level, that really should probably be repealed and don't reflect what we do. And if they're not enforceable, then why have them on the books to begin with?
According to the Tribune, former police chief Rob Baker was the first to play a legal game of pinball in the city since 1955. And, well, that's because he was the only person the mayor could find at City Hall who hadn't already violated the ban. That'll do it for this episode of Indie Android. What arcane laws does your city still have on the books? Which director would you get to make the pinball sting operation movie? Leave your answers in the comments, and as always, be sure to like and share. Thanks for watching.